traumatic, really, the Louisville offseason has been. Everybody points to the loss to Michigan State, the number one overall seed. Things are on the up and up for U of L. Lose to Michigan State, don't play well. Terrence Williams, Patino scuffle. Everything's been on the downhill. Calipari comes into Lexington, starts taking the recruits. Final Four for Kentucky.
But Louisville was real high during the season.
Oh, yes, definitely.
Very
definitely.
high. I never had more fun than I did this regular season as a fan. I didn't.
Oh, exactly. The season, once it gets going, U of L has been all right, but it just seems like there has been a soap opera.
Definitely.
As Louisville turns, that's what I feel like that's been with the U of L program since that loss to Michigan State. And more news just came out yesterday. Terrence Jennings decides to go pro. Kind of really took everybody by surprise. Now, the Courier-Journal did state that Patino expected Terrence Jennings to come back, and then yesterday I read that Patino was planning for Terrence Jennings to be gone the whole time. Now, that sounds a lot to me like the Samardo-Samuel situation last year. You hear that Samardo is going to put his name in the draft, but Patino last year he said he fully expects Samardo to return. Now, Samardo, from New York, originally roots in Jamaica, apparently had family issues, needed money very badly, signed with an agent that was located out of Jamaica. I'm not sure if he was Jamaican.
It was announced through the Jamaican Basketball Association.
Yes.
It was very closely tied to a trip that he made to visit his mother and father.
Yeah, and the news broke without Patino knowing. So this, to me, questions, what does Patino do when the season ends? He must not have close contact with these guys.
He goes to Miami. That's known.
Yeah, exactly. But I did hear he was trying to sell his house, something like a $10 million house in Miami that he couldn't sell. But what is he doing with these guys? Just plug that in on how well Patino is paid. Granted, that's mostly Boston Celtics money, which is real well spent. But, why does he not have closer ties with these guys? Like, Calipari he's having an NBA combine. He is there day and night with these kids. And Terrence Jennings, a guy you desperately need next year with your big-time recruits, all your kids coming back, things are really starting to turn in your favor, and boom, Terrence Jennings goes pro.
It's a different animal. Patino deals in a different reality than Calipari does. Not to say either of them's better. Patino deals with a more, although he was considered very innovative to incorporate the three-point shot into the college game like he did, today he's considered an old-school guy. He kind of is. He's not Calipari. He doesn't consider a guy like Terrence Jennings to be a legitimate pro prospect. He doesn't.
Well, what it sounds like to me is that in the era of college basketball today, it is a 24/7, 365 job. And Patino sounds like to me that he's already won his title, that he does the season, he allows his assistants to recruit, and he goes on vacation after the season. And, he needs Terrence Jennings next year. He needs to be there. He needs to be, helping him along with this process. He needs to be telling him what he needs to hear. But instead, he says he fully expects Terrence Jennings to return. And then
I never heard that.
The Courier-Journal did say that. He said he expects Terrence Jennings to return. And now, all of a sudden, Terrence Jennings stays in the draft. Which, granted, people say what they want to say about Terrence Jennings. He's going to be an integral part of this system, next year. You look at when Louisville started playing well, the Connecticut game, away. That's when the season changed. What was that? Jennings' first double-double? That you look at this guy, he can be a difference maker. He does have the NBA body. I understand why the NBA scouts like him. Possibly why I think he is going to be drafted in the first 2 rounds. But Louisville needs this guy back.
I think Louisville will be fine without him. Gorgie Chang, in my opinion. I know that it falls into the same cyclical pattern that we see each year, where Samardo left, and everybody said, "Oh, we're fine. Terrence Jennings is better." I know that seems to be the pattern. I don't care. Gorgie Jang is much more polished already, although raw, offensively. He's a better shot blocker than Terrence Jennings. Gorgie Jang has gained 20 pounds of muscle. Gorgie Jang will be better than Terrence Jennings this season.
But the only thing that I have
if he stays healthy.
The only thing that I have to argue about that is now you have some dynamic players. You have Peyton Siva, who finally started to realize that he could take over a game. Now you have Wayne Blackshear. You have some guys that can finish on the break. Just imagine Peyton Siva is pushing the ball down court. He's got Wayne Blackshear running the wing on one side. You've got Kyle Kirk spotting in the corner, and now you have Terrence Jennings trailing. Gorgie Jang doesn't give you that aspect of your game that Terrence Jennings does. Terrence Jennings
is a runner. He's perfect for Pitino's system. You're right.
So that's why I'm saying that Pitino needed to be there. He shouldn't have been on vacation or not knowing exactly what these guys do. That's the problem I have, is he doesn't know exactly what these guys do.
Or maybe he didn't care what Jennings was doing.
That's possibly too, but then he shouldn't be on the team. You shouldn't have the 15, 20 guys if you don't care exactly what they do.
All of them?
Maybe
Cal has to worry about 3 or 4 guys a year.
Well, maybe Pitino should have worried about Tim Fuller was doing, and maybe should have tried to have a conversation before he met up with his buddy at Missouri, and he could have stayed. Everybody likes to say on the local media that Louisville.
Are you saying Pitino's lazy?
Maybe I don't even know if they talked. I figure that Pitino, he has such a huge ego that he thinks these guys are supposed to call him. Well, newsflash. This shit isn't 1996. You aren't King God basketball. People are going to do things without you, and they're going to be perfectly fine. Granted, you put a lot of great people into a lot of great situations. Tubby Smith, Herb Sendek, Billy Donovan. We know all that, but today's a different game. You need to be on your P's and Q's 24 hours, 7 days a week.
Pitino's fine in the modern game, in my opinion. He doesn't play it the same way Calipari does. He's not going to baby his top stars. He's not going to baby anybody. He's a man. He's going to demand that when someone tells them he's going to do something, that they'll do it. If they don't do it, that's on them. Samardo Samuels, turns out he's been in a good, had a good season in the NBA. That's on him. Pitino's not going to lose any sleep over guys like that.
Then I guess, that's fair enough, but I guess Louisville will be happy with Sweet 16s and Elite 8s. He needs to be there. If you're going to win in this game that is college basketball today, you have to be there
to baby your guys.
Yeah, they're kids. Hey, go to the NBA and not baby these guys. See how well that worked out for you. You can't really handle grown men all that well either.
Who babies their guys? Does Calipari baby his guys?
Exactly.
Does he?
They're prima donnas. All these kids are prima donnas coming in. From 15 years old, they've been told they're the best thing running. Since 15 years old, they've been handed things for free.
Pitino's not all about that. Reed success is a choice. Pitino demands that you give your all to his system. That's why he doesn't recruit guys like DeMarcus Cousins. He would love to have had him on his team. He would have certainly given him a chance. He doesn't recruit 100% of those guys. He doesn't put that into it's not in his repertoire. He doesn't get guys who are one and done every year.
Then he needs to start proving results on a more consistent level than he has. If they're gonna put their name in the running for these top guys, then just be a guy that recruits the 75 to 50 guys and make sure they're there.
He got Wayne Blackshear.
But okay.
And he'll be fine. Pitino's going to be fine.
Okay.
They could very well win the national championship next year.
Completely agree. Then he needs to show something this year.
It's not that easy. Big misconception. Winning a national championship, ask Calhoun, old 70-year-old man, it's not that easy. It happens. If you're in contention every year, like Calhoun's been, like Pitino's been, it'll happen occasionally. It doesn't happen every year. It's not easy.
No, it doesn't. But we can go down the list with the problems U of L has had. The near signees
Amir Johnson
that U of L has had. The Jeremy Tylers. that goes over, which is a big name to watch.
And Patino's learning. He's always evolving, which is a positive attribute to although everyone claims he has a huge ego, he's constantly admitting, I need to change my style, and he is changing it, and he's doing fine, and the results in his recruiting are doing fine. If you look at any rankings, Patino's recruiting has ranked very well. It's not as bad as everyone said it's been. It's not like he's just fallen off the map. It's not like he's old and he's Denny at the end of his era. It's nothing remotely close to that. His recruiting's actually doing great. The class he has coming in this year is what? Every ranking I've seen, top 7.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
He's fine. Patino's fine. He's not going to win it every year. May not win it next year. He could, though. He could win it next year. He could win it the year after that. And as a Louisville fan, that's all you can ask for. All you can ask for is that your team is in the mix, that they got the talent, and that they got the chance to be in the Final Four or Sweet 16. They got the chance to be there. And with Patino, you got that chance every year. Not many guys you can say that about.
Okay, you're a Louisville fan.
That I am.
And you've lived in the city of Louisville. You understand. You got to think. Me and you are the same. I'm not arguing against you. We're from the city of Louisville. We're Louisvillians.
Yes.
Okay. Patino is not a Louisvillian. You got to remember he is a New Yorker. And as your coach, I am seeing this guy not put the effort that goes into bringing home a national title that this city has not seen since 1986.
And Calipari is?
Yes.
He's never won a national title.
But he's damn well trying.
Patino's trying?
Hey, the way I look at Calipari is he will sleep in the kid's dorm with him if he's got to.
And he hasn't won one yet. Calhoun has, Patino has, Boeheim has. There's certain guys who have and there's certain guys who haven't. Calipari, although he's put great effort into it, he hasn't won a national title.
No, he hasn't.
And that's real great, everything he's done. He hasn't won a title.
No, he hasn't. And all that Patino has is, yes, he put together one of the greatest teams that ever was in 96. But
96, 97, 98.
Yes,
that
but
little
he does
era,
not have
which was UK,
but
and
he
I
does
love.
not have multiple titles. He does not have multiple titles. He has one. So he does
Who has
not,
multiple titles?
Mike Krzyzewski,
Denny,
Jim Calhoun, Denny,
Bobby.
John Wooden. Who else are in the conversation with multiple titles? He is not. Patino is not God. He is not great. He's not God. He has not. But he has not earned the respect to just do what he can during the season. Leave it up to his assistants.
So you're saying he's mailed it in like Denny did at the end of his years?
No, he has not mailed it in at all. But I get the sense from Patino that he felt like I have done my job. Now I get to sit back. I let my systems work. And hey, your systems aren't working.
Kelly, would you not agree that Calipari was 1 point away from winning a national championship this last year?
No, I wouldn't agree with that.
You wouldn't?
Nope.
I understand that.
They still had another game to win.
I understand that. I understand that. But
they were when he was with Memphis, he was very close to winning the national title.
Exactly. And that's another point I was kind of going to make, that 2 times he was 1 or 2 points away from winning a national championship.
You're right. He's not on a different level than Patino. It's not like Patino's up here and Calipari's way down here. Calipari has done what he needs to do, but to suggest that Patino hasn't and that he doesn't have his team in contention each year, which is all you can ask for, is ridiculous and naive and, quite frankly, very sad.
Okay, then you have to be the guy with that argument. You have to be the guy that doesn't get mad when Rodney Purvis decommits from your school.
I'm not mad. I'm fine.
Okay.
I'm fine.
Then that's fine.
And Louisville will be fine.
And all Louisville fans, just know that you have to accept that. When Patino goes on vacation.
Different style than Calipari.
When Patino goes on vacation after the season, and Calipari has 24 NBA teams in the first ever college basketball combine. That's the kind of realm, that's the kind of grasp he has on the NBA. That's what he knows. Calipari lives, sleeps, and eats basketball. Patino did that at Kentucky, but I feel, and I like U of L. I'm not a U of L hater.